have 60 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
You have 60 seconds to comply. This is minute 33.
Part man.
Part machine. All pod. This minute begins with Morton watching Robocop leaving to go on patrol for the first time, and ends with the convenience store robber saying, "Open the safe!"
Yeah, I honestly thought wouldn't have much to say on this, but I definitely have got a few notes. But I think we're both itching to talk about the Ford Taurus.
The Ford Taurus is, you'd think a Ford, just fairly average kind of thing, but somehow they've just made it look so damn sexy.
I know. We've talked about this previously before when we've talked about Murphy, but I think this is one time we actually get the proper hero shot of the Taurus. And also, Robocop finally, out and about in action, driving along. I've got the Robocop archive page up, and it does say it is a matte black repaint with push bars, light bars, roof-mounted spotlights, onboard computer, and dashboard arsenal. And apparently this was supposed to be a different car.
Yeah, they were going to do a custom car. Remember we were talking about that before?
Yeah, and it's good to go back and talk about it again.
Yes.
We also have the novelization of the script, which talk about it. And what I love about it is that they describe this, shiny, futuristic car, the Turbo Cruiser.
Right. Yeah, I was wondering, what did they say in the script about it?
There's not really much on the script. It just says, the shiny new Turbo Cruiser parked out front. In the novelization, Robo nodded and marched through the precinct house and out the front door. A Turbo Cruiser awaited him. Robo stood outside the car for a moment. A primitive means of transportation, one prone to breakdowns, and not that maneuverable at high speeds. Still, it was more attractive than the other squad cars around. It seemed new and extremely shiny. The moon shined down on the hood. Not a single ding on the metal surface. So that was the description. It's shiny and chrome, I guess. It's gonna ride. It's gonna ride into Valhalla.
I'm just imagining the car from The Last Starfighter. If anyone remembers that.
It's been a long time since I've seen The Last Starfighter.
It's fun. It's a fun car. But yeah, it's interesting that, as far as I can tell, the Ford Taurus was used as a police interceptor, according to Wikipedia. But it's just it's a V6. It's front wheel drive. It's nothing special. But
No.
I think maybe that's why, kind of like the DeLorean, there is something about when you put something in that cinematic world, that perspective, it takes on the life of its own. And especially the people working on these cars and customizing them and making them seem so much more special than they are.
Yeah, there's quite a few people on the RPF and that have actually customized their own Ford Tauruses to look like the Robocop OCP car vehicles, patrol vehicles. Well, for me, it's also the fact of, yeah, it looks just like a cop car, except for that matte black finish. It's just such an odd thing to do, but it fits so well in this universe.
It's a really sophisticated, subtle way of elevating this vehicle. You don't have to do anything over the top. I would argue maybe the remake does go for some more overt modifications, custom body kit. It is very much a Hot Wheels, but no, this is just it fits the tone of Robocop so beautifully.
Yeah, and as we were saying, there's a lot of 80s aesthetic in this movie. Just that's just of the time period. It's supposed to be a futuristic movie. I'm definitely going to talk more about that later.
I think this feels more like a 90s car than an 80s car.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, so this is, I think they started making them early 80s. So this is towards the end of the Malaise era, but it's very unusual to see a rounded edge car from this era, because everything was still going so boxy, which is not aerodynamic, not good for fuel conservation.
Yeah, it was a new model. Verhoeven then saw the new Taurus had just got on sale, and he ordered more than a dozen new cars. Apparently Ford were not happy about the being kind of associated with such a violent film, but it's not like there's any
Cowards.
there is a close-up of the side of the lower side of the car, you can see Taurus on there, but there's no like Ford iconography.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's so 86 to 91. I've just got lots of Pontiac information in my head, so the numbers are all getting fuzzy. But yes, so Ford Taurus is 86 to 91 is a first gen, and the second gen kind of looks about the same.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where like there's like very minimal. Only like maybe like the hardcore car fanatics might notice the slight differences between the designs. It's not like when I'm not a car guy, but I even like notice like but like when you have like a car like say within like a 10-year period, you probably won't see the adjustments they've done to design. But when you get like outside of that bracket of car design, and then you're just like, wow, okay, I can see how this has changed, or like, wow, they did a radical different thing here.
Yeah.
The differences between like the 82, the 84, and the 87 Trans Am Pontiac are like very minimal, but until you see them kind of isolated and go, oh, okay.
Yeah, to me, when I see all the Trans Ams lined up, you go, oh, yeah, it's so emblematic of its era.
Yeah. But we love the Trans Am, and fuck you, Kit.
You look like crap.
Fuck you, Kit!
Always gotta work in some kind of Knight Rider somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
But I also love the floodlights and the what we call a Rubar out the front there on the Robocar. Yeah, just those little hints, those little touches. Robocop remake, you don't have to go so overt with the whole plastic body.
So, just while I think about it, so there's an episode, I can't remember if we talked about this or not. I think I tried to bring it up and maybe it didn't get it all out, but there's an episode of Doctor Who, the Tenantier, so this was shot in... So this was, trying to think which year it was. It was the first, it was the first season of David Tennant, so this must have been 2006?
Sounds about right.
Either way, late 2000s, and the episode was set in the London Olympics in 2012. It was a suburban scene, and what they did was they went to the car manufacturers and said, look, we're shooting a thing, it's quote modern day Britain. Architecturally it's going to be all the same, but what they wanted to try and sell the idea that was only slightly in the future, they went to all the car manufacturers and said, look, can we have your kind of like concept cars or your next generation cars, and we're just going to plonk them in the background. So it's just a visual nod to say like, it's technically slightly in the future, even though, and so there's no earlier car than say like, it would have been like maybe like 2009, something like that. It was actually a really good design nod. But then you look at something like 2014 Robocop, and when do cop cars really go that crazy?
Yeah, unless the rest of the movie was that heightened. If it was like Altered Carbon or Blade Runner, where...
Or Super Mario Brothers. The, like, RC kind of like cup cars.
Look, Super Mario, the movie, actually is a pretty great cyberpunk dystopian environment. Yeah, some great design elements, frankly.
Yeah. It's
Fungal punk.
Yeah.
Fungal punk. That's great to say. Fungal punk.
Cody Johnson does a really good review critique talking about how it relates to Donald Trump in Some More News the Movie, which I highly recommend. It's also fucking hilarious. And he also talks about Robocop in that as well.
I feel like he talks about Robocop a lot.
Yeah, that's Maggie Mayfish.
The crack. I just think the crack stuff.
The crack
stuff.
Yes.
Just they're all in love with Robocop. I think when they did the job interview, first question was, "Have you seen Robocop?"
Robocop?
Yeah.
You're hired.
Yeah.
That's it. Next time I run a business, that's going to be my first in only interview question.
I think so. Well, especially if someone gets Robocop, I think I can trust them as a person.
Oh, that should be the second. So, first question, have you seen Robocop? Yes, no. Second question, do you get Robocop? Yes, no.
Do you understand what satire is?
Oh, God. So, not many people would answer that. Sorry, first thing I got here. Oh, yeah. Coming out the driveway. I don't know why, but I love the sparks. Just the...
I know. My note was, God, they gotta bloody fix that or something. Always said it's sparks. That ramp is just too steep, but they wouldn't have custom built that. That has to be the real location, I assume.
I don't know. I really don't know, but because there's like some like metal plates and something like that. That could have just been there to assist the spark, as it were.
Or maybe they did add something to the bottom of the car so that you got that effect, just because it looks cool.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just narrowly misses that other car as well as it's going.
Everyone drives like a maniac in this department.
Yeah, but who really has like a 1.5 car wide, like on and off ramp for a police department? You just know like someone's gonna come, barreling in.
Oh, it happens all
someone
the time.
goes, yeah. Oh, this is Detroit, so you know.
Yeah.
But he almost misses like another like 2 cars coming out as well. God damn it! You uphold the law, uphold the road laws, Robocop.
Yep. We can say for certain that Mad Max Rokitansky, the last of the V8 Interceptors, that is definitely the coolest car. I mean, the Robocar is nice, but
Oh yeah.
Interceptor, beautiful.
Of the cop cars in media, yeah, I'll pay that.
Yeah, I can't think of a more attractive cop car. Unless you count Kit, who's technically, they're working above the law, but...
That's more a vigilante-mobile.
He's a vigilante. Yes.
The new genre of vehicles, the vigilante-mobile.
So we got the Batmobile, we've got Kit, we've got Herbie. Yeah, just wait. Dark gritty reboot of Herbie.
We've got the Mystery Machine. They're vigilantes, clearly.
Oh yeah, true, actually, yeah.
They go around busting capitalists. They're vigilantes in my book.
Yes, they are. Bless you, groovy kids. Oh, did they make a Hot Wheels one? I need a Mystery Machine Hot Wheels.
They have to have made a Hot Wheels Mystery Machine.
Mystery Machine. And...
I know a few people have built them IRL. I think there's one over in... I think there might be one in
for
Queensland.
$16 dues, I'm gonna get it. Just bought a combi too. I have maybe a problem. I don't think it's a problem, personally.
Well, it's either Hot Wheels or crack cocaine. You really you've probably chosen the better one.
True, and they're like $2 each, so...
Yeah, but it's the postage that's going to kill you.
Oh, always. You could buy Homer's pink car. Yes.
Like the one he designed, or like the Simpsons? His Simpsons
The
car?
general one, but now you got me thinking. What was it, like Homer's dream car, or what it was called?
Something like that. I saw it recently in a meme, and just...
I was thinking about it this morning for some weird reason. Like, I was using it as a metaphor for... Oh, yeah. Like when you're just trying to take the best elements of everything and put it together, you just end up with a Homer car. Like that should be in our general vernacular, as well as coming up Millhouse. I want generations from now to say, "Oh, it's an absolute Homer car," or "Things are coming up Millhouse," and it's like 3 centuries from now, and no one knows what the fuck the Simpsons are, but they've just been saying it the whole time.
No, I want the opposite. I want Simpsons become like part of the culture. So like everyone's like wearing like these gigantic blue towering hairdos, or they like getting their blonde hair and like sharpen it with some pencil sharpeners. They have no idea why. They just know that that's the thing they must do.
Yes, you can in fact get the Homer.
Yes.
And beautiful. I could go nuts in this particular store, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to move away because I just ordered a little Fiat. So and I have ordered the custom lights for Kit and car. So just slow down, bitch. Fucking customize the ones you have, then get some more. We have not bloody said that the Robocop theme is finally in this film.
Yes.
Yes.
We
Dun, 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 dad, 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 dad. So good.
Oh, it's so good.
I think that if you said that as your alarm each morning, you would have to replace your door because you would fucking kick it down. You would just be so hype. You would finish your work by 10 o'clock.
Or you'll bust through it like fucking Robocop through a fucking wall.
Yes.
The fucking... the Kool-Aid man stole Robocop shtick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm betting someone in the comments that never comments will just like, well, actually... The Kool-Aid Man came out to be... Nah, gives a fuck.
I hope we have a comic book guy in our audience.
I think we got the comic book guy in the podcast.
That's true, actually, yeah. I didn't want to say anything.
Speaking of which, Robocop is on patrol and we get shot to the deli.
Yes.
And, or I should say, we're going to cut to Bixby Schneider's show. Oh god, I forgot what it's fucking called now. It's not my it's not my problem.
Yep, it's not my problem.
Yeah, the show that is never mentioned by name, including the name Bixby Schneider himself.
Is this the second appearance of this? Yes, it is. Yeah.
I think probably most people would, when you think I buy that for $1, they probably think this particular moment more than the previous one. I'd imagine, because it's literally right in your face, just like other things in the shot.
Yeah. What was the last one?
The other one was at the steel mill when old what's his face got shot by Murphy. That's right.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I've seen this movie too many times, so I don't know. I don't have a concept of chronology or time.
I've seen this movie too many times by the minute.
Yes. Oh, it's like Prometheus at this point. It's not even a movie. It's like I went to school with these people.
I must say, I'm probably having a better time with this than Prometheus. Just as a quick aside, I think that's always the danger of doing a minute-by-minute thing. Sometimes you can grow to resent a thing by overanalyzing or whatever. But my God, I'm pretty much more in love with this movie than I think I was beforehand.
No, yeah, I love Robocop now more than ever, I think.
Yeah, and I've even started to occasionally look at, I've been looking at reviews and stuff, but I've also started to look at the Robocop archives. So, I'm talking about, the 80s aesthetics of this. This deli just feels like it, if this movie was set in, 2040 or whatever, this has had, the same fucking stock for 80 years.
Oh, yeah, I don't think places like this change. I guess Americans call them convenience stores, but yeah, we call them delis. Yeah. And there's something I didn't notice before consciously, and it's the old lady at the counter is serving at the register. She looks like she's wearing pajamas, but I never really consciously thought of it. But subconsciously, I kind of read it as, I feel like they live maybe upstairs or just behind this building, and that's why there's this really relaxed attitude. They're dressed in pajamas, they're watching TV.
It's at night. Oh, I'm sorry, I really didn't think about that, but now I'm looking back to it. Yeah, that thrilly, colory bit that just...
Little House on the Prairie look, yeah.
Yeah, actually, my brain was thinking Aunt May in the scene where Green Goblin busts in and finish it. Oh god, that scene's cringy. I love you, Sam Raimi, but man, that movie's got some issues.
I need to go back and watch them because they do seem like just pinnacle. Oh, okay. No, so pinnacle meme culture would be the Star Wars prequels, but then I think just below that would be the Spider-Man trilogy. I am something of a scientist myself.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
I love that one. I don't know why. So far, my pickup line, I'm something of a lesbian myself, has not actually worked so far, and I don't know why.
Maybe that only works with lesbians. I don't know. I've never tried it.
True. I thought it would just be so powerful, just channeling Willem Dafoe, that people would be just into it.
That might be it. Everyone just goes, who really does want to fuck Willem Dafoe?
Maybe it's too powerful. It's too much.
Yeah, apart from maybe Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, he probably owns that portrait that they made of him from Spider-Man. What the fuck are we even talking about?
Well, I was just going to segue into superheroes, but you kept going.
Look, I'm sorry, I'm just drifting through. I'm just vibing. I'm vibing, as the kids say.
Because the one thing I never noticed really beforehand, but because, we do minute by minute, we are analysing this a bit more depth, and I went a little bit crazy because comic books.
Yeah, that was fun. Having a look at what...
I got out my Blu-ray copy so I could try and get some better quality images. Do you want me to run down the list of the comics that are on display?
Okay, first I'm going to say what I think I saw.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
So, first of all, it's very strange that in a deli there's comics. They're not hidden away in some specialty obscure store. And they're probably
this was the 80s. This is before comic book shops really took off.
Yeah, they were probably like 25 cents rather than $25.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the thing. Looking at these comics, I'm like going, oh, these are definitely 80s comics. So, technically speaking, these are vintage.
So, this Thor, I think maybe it's just Vision, as in Vision, but it could be Vision.
Yes, it is.
Space Knight?
Space Knight, yes.
Blade, or maybe Blade Runner, because it looks like the Blade Runner font, so...
Here's the thing. I was going to leave that for you. Yes, it is Blade Runner. Marvel Comics did a Blade Runner comic, and I checked the top of the comic with the Marvel comic on Image Google. It's exactly the same. It is Blade Runner.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Maybe I did know and I forgot. Yeah.
You probably saw that blade and the font and everything and went, yeah, that can't be a coincidence. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I am doing the Blade Runner movies by minute. I only just started, but yeah, that font really stood out to me, and subconsciously I went Blade Runner first, and then I went, oh, it could be Blade, but no. First thought, best thought.
Did you have any more?
No, those are the only spot.
So, the other ones that I could find, at least the ones I could visually identify, I haven't looked for a list of these, so this is just purely me being the comic book mega brain. There was the New Mutants, Alpha Flight, Masters of the Universe. Oh, but sorry, most of these are Marvel Comics, I should say, except for a couple. So, Dreadstar, which isn't a Marvel comic, that also appeared in the scene with Jack, Murphy's kid. You've said Vision, Thor, Captain America.
I wondered who was a captain, because all I could see was Captain.
There's a couple of Captain Americas there. Dazzler.
Oh, yeah.
The Flash, the only DC comic I saw there. There's a few Spider-Mans that look to be a Conan. We've got Blade Runner, Power Man, and Iron Fist, which, for people who don't know who that is, that's Luke Cage and Iron Fist, back in the original ones. And the comic that the thug grabs to take to the counter is Iron Man.
Huh. Which is rather fitting, I guess.
Exactly. So I wonder how much of that was a deliberate thing. Because you really can't see it as an Iron Man comic until it really gets closer to the frame. It's like, yes! You got an Iron Man reference in there.
Who was... Because there were Robocop comics at the time.
Well, it was afterwards. They didn't have the comic... Well, they probably had the comic book out by the time they distributed the movie, but not when they were shooting, no.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I just mean... Because I know that the rights to Robocop now are with... Oh, is it Dark Horse?
I don't know. I've lost count. I know Dark Horse had them during the 90s.
Yeah.
But they were originally with Marvel.
Okay, so it was Marvel, yeah. I was wondering.
So it was Marvel. Marvel did the official... I think they did the official movie adaptation. I think it was like a miniseries of like six-issue miniseries or something like that. And then they did an ongoing, which didn't last that long. The rights went to Dark Horse, but I don't know where they are now. So I'm not even sure what Dark Horse is doing. My guess honestly would have been IDW that would have had it, but no, it could still be Dark Horse.
Oh, maybe. Yes. If only there was a way to look it up. Yeah.
I don't know if there's been any new Robocops in recent times, but I know they've been re-releasing some of the Frank Miller stuff. Oh, Boom Studios looks like it's the current...
yes, that's right. I saw some artwork they did. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. The last one was January 2018. So it says, Citizen's Arrest. Boom Studios announced a new ongoing series set 30 years after the events of the first film where justice is crowdsourced. The first issue was published April 2018.
Yeah, so it looks like Robocop was passed between
it was about 4 or 5
not studios, publishers.
Publishers, yeah.
Yeah, several times. So from 1990 to 1992 was Marvel Comics. Then Dark Horse Comics in 92, which is exclusively just to do Robocop versus Terminator.
They did a few other ones, but yeah, they did the adaptation of Robocop 3 as well.
But then so kind of technicality, legality thing, then they got it again between 92 to 94 for 13 issues. So they're like limited run contracts, it looks like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then Avatar Press between 2003 to 2006.
And those are the Frank Miller adaptations, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I guess they were going for these very limited contracts rather than just, hey, you can do ongoing stuff like with Alien and Dark Horse.
It makes sense because there wasn't exactly a big Robocop franchise at the time, so it was probably just like a very limited fan thing.
Then Dynamite Entertainment between 2009 to 2013. And then, fittingly enough, from Dynamite to Boom Studios from 2013 onwards, which is possibly... Yeah, no, this is the first time they've had a real... Oh, I guess Marvel was a kind of an ongoing... So, but yeah, this is the longest run it's had with a particular publishing house.
Yeah, well, the rights might be up in the air, especially now that MGM's looking like they're about to shit themselves financially, so who knows? Maybe when Robocop returns actually happens, if it actually happens, we might get some more associated media. We never know.
Speaking of associated media, we could talk about the theme park ride, but before we do that, I would like to mention that there was a KFC commercial which featured...
Oh God, I've seen that!
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yes, it's so cringe. I love it.
Oh! I almost forgot the note I wrote down. In this scene in the script, the bad guy, the thug, whatever, he's called Hophead. It just says, he looks at the magazine, sweats pours off his face, he selects a particularly lurid skin magazine. So he grabs a porno. In the novelization, it names it specifically as Anal Lesbians. Considering how much or how little like nudity everything is, I'm actually kind of glad they went for comics. I think it's more. I don't know. I just like the subtle Iron Man reference more than I'd probably like guy grabbing titty mag.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because the porno mag just seems so obvious, whereas the comic kind of changes the subtext. I don't really know why, but it just does.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And comics are kind of it's a bit innocuous. It's not like, and this guy's wearing a big coat and everything. Well, it's because he's got the shotgun.
Yeah.
No, it's not a shotgun. It is a Sterling Mark 6 submachine gun, a close cousin to the Sterling MGC, which is most commonly known as the Stormtrooper gun.
Oh yeah. I know
yeah, you cut that barrel off, you do a couple of modifications, and that's a Stormtrooper blaster.
Now, it seems like, going back to Robocop, they're putting a lot of trust into this guy. I don't know, it doesn't feel like they've done any kind of trial runs. They're just like, off you go, boy. You're not even going to have a partner in this situation. Not even like, maybe Tyler in the passenger seat taking notes. Maybe she's got an off button, a little remote there, just in case he gets a little out of control. No, you go, boy. Go get him. Sick him, Rex.
I wonder if the off button's going to come up in this minute episode or not. Yeah. Yes.
Mayhaps foreshadowing.
No, it is a bit. It is a little bit. I don't know what's the word, risky, but I think I think that just says a lot about like Bob Morton's confidence and like nothing could possibly go wrong, and I should know I'm an executive. Yeah,
no, I think going with the tone and style of this film, I absolutely don't question it. When reviewing the remake, there are a lot of instances where we do go, was that intentional? Doing the Alien prequels, I go, Well, that could make sense if you imagined it was this, but no, I'm doing the writer's work for them, aren't I?
Yeah, it does feel like that sometimes. I mean, I think that's intentional in some cases. Let the audience do the work, but there's other times where it's just like, no, they just didn't think about this.
Yeah, whereas here, the idea of Morton just slapping him on the butt and telling him to go out there and do his thing, yeah.
That feels a very deliberate move. Or at least it's
Yes.
like the confidence of someone like a Bob Morton, the guy who is extremely cocky. What's the phrase? God give me the confidence of a cis-het white male.
Yes.
No, I'm not that confident.
Yeah, I was just about to say, aren't I more confident than you?
Yeah.
I am. Well, okay. I don't know what it is, but neurologically, I'm just completely fearless. No shame, nothing. I don't know what. It's pretty great though. 10/10 would recommend. Yeah, I've really noticed that. So I've been going through my auteur film theory phase, much like when I was a teenager, but with more maturity and brain. So yeah, I've been going through Carpenter's filmography, gone through David Lynch. I've mentioned that. Last night I got halfway through The Fog, brilliant, but I got sleepy, so but I'll finish that tonight. And there was something so wonderful about realizing, oh yeah, this is someone who is just peak of their game, in total creative control. I can trust that this storyteller is going to take me on a journey that isn't compromised and isn't trying to sell to a particular audience. That's the wonderful thing about, especially, say about 70s, 80s movies in particular. They're not trying to do franchise. They're not trying to do sequels.
Yes.
Even though Robocop ended up being a big franchise, it's lovely to go back to the original. Same thing with Ghostbusters, even. It wasn't even supposed to be a thing aimed at kids.
Yeah,
Ghostbusters 2 kind of goes a bit that way.
Well, Ghostbusters 2 is essentially made because the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon, was so popular. That's it.
Yep. Sorry, Zedmore, we had to shave off your majestic mustache because the cartoon said so.
You know that Ernie Hudson auditioned to play Zedmore on the cartoon and was rejected?
What?
I know!
Because he cost more than a voice actor? Or
No,
what?
I don't think they even realised who he was.
Nah, he doesn't sound right.
This is a pro Zedmore podcast, and Ernie Hudson would definitely have you on. I would love to talk Airheads with you.
I don't know why. I mean, Egon's also a favourite of mine, but yeah, Zedmore's always been my favourite because he's just so outside of the nerd circle. He's just like, whatever you say, man, I'm here for the paycheck. What a great guy.
That's the best lines in the damn movie. In a movie full of great lines, that's one of the best.
Yeah, so that concludes our Zedmore Appreciation Minute, a podcast within a podcast.
Tune in next week when we talk about Congo.
Yeah.
It's just the first movie I could think of because I already mentioned Airheads.
Yeah, and then after that we'll talk about Transformers Prime, where he is an MVP, Agent Fowler. So good.
Oh god, I don't think he's even been in Star Trek, so god damn it, we need Ernie Hudson in Star Trek and it can be the trifecta of awesome.
Well, shit. That's exactly what I was hoping to spare you from.
I don't actually have much to say commentary-wise, because it really kind of talked about a lot of what they speak out, because they talk about how long it took to get Peter Weller into that costume.
Oh, yes, that reminds me, please, as you watch this minute and you see Robocop driving around looking cool as shit, remember, he is pantsless.
Yes, I was going to mention that, I forgot.
Just give him those cartoon boxer briefs with the hearts on it. Yeah.
That's how I picture it. Or,
You're welcome, guys.
Tackle out, as in the gun on the side. Oh, that was bad. Because they said they did start off saying that it took 11 hours to get Peter into costume. Their words, but then they also give up the times, and it seems to be more close to maybe 6 hours. It's still a ridiculous amount of time to get a costume on and off a person, but that just kind of just shows you how complicated these things are. This isn't like prosthetics.
Yeah, I think Peter Weller must just have the patience of a monk at this point. He seems like a really chill guy, and I think if he wasn't before, that process would have made him into that kind of monastic level of patience.
Well, they did talk about that. He was training with like one of the best mime artists in Hollywood, or at least in America at that time. And he was like training on how to, move as a robot and stuff like this before they got the suit, And as soon as they put the suit on, he realized all that training was for naught because his body was so restricted. I'm just trying to remember, did we talk about the fact that Peter Weller got fired from this film?
Yeah.
This suit is literally the only reason why Peter Weller ended up back on set.
Yeah. Fuck, he doesn't fit anybody else. Doug Jones isn't acting yet, probably. So.
Doug Jones is he's probably acting, but he's probably a bit young.
His first role was in Hocus Pocus, which is early 90s.
Oh, yes. He played Billy the zombie, didn't he?
Yes.
How the hell did I know that?
Yeah, we know so much fucking useless trivia. That's why we do these podcasts.
I've seen that movie once. I just know more about Doug Jones than I do about Hocus Pocus.
So I've been watching a lot of Miami Vice lately. So there's a lot of scenes that are filmed indoors at night in, under neon and fluorescent lights and all of that. And I've got to say, there's just something about filming in those conditions with whatever cameras they're using in the 80s just looks so much better. I don't know, like this scene in the deli looks better than it would in real life.
Yeah. Well, I like the kind of like a little bit of that oppressive what the fucking fluorescent light. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, like that really bleached white light really adds to the scene. Like if this was done today, it'd be fucking color coded within an inch of its life, and it'd be fucking blue or orange.
Like Nick Refn, I think, does a really good job of filming under fluorescence, but maybe the problem is there is so many options in terms of post-processing and stuff that the inclination is to not make it look perfect as you film it, but to fix it in post. Whereas in the 80s, it's in camera or nothing. Yeah,
pretty much. Well, there is post-processing, color grading on film and stuff like that. It's just a thing that has to happen. But yeah, there's when digital color grading came out, people went crazy. I mean, even like for example, I think The Matrix was one of the first ones that really did it really great as an artistic thing. Like,
wasn't the first one was like?
I think it might be. No Country for Old Men is the credit is the first like full digital one. But even like The Matrix, they used blue hues for the Nebuchadnezzar, the real world stuff,
and green for the Matrix,
white for the loading program stuff, and green for the Matrix. And it color codes very well. But like even Ghostbusters, this became a really big problem because of the fans, because they're trying to replicate the suits. But in the movie they look grey, but in real life they're beige.
Oh yeah.
So
I've come up against that so many times where I go, do I want to make this costume look accurate to how it looks in the movie, or do I want to look like, if I stood next to the original costume, it would look identical.
Yeah, it's on screen versus in real life.
But in the case of, I always love this story, I won't go into too much detail, but the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann, he was only ever in one TV movie. It was shot really cheaply. It looks nasty. So many fans who wanted to cosplay as him for years before they did the 50th special, and the costume was brought out and put on display. People could get really good photos. People were like, "It's brown. No, it's gold. No, it's black." So pre-2012 8th Doctor cosplays look so inaccurate. And it really is a case of when it's actually green, it will photograph correctly in all environments. If you try to make it out of black or brown, it's never going to look right.
Yeah, it's because it was such a high quality velvet, crushed velvet, wasn't it?
Oh no, crushed velvet's the cheap, nasty crap. So just
you know what I mean, though. It's
proper,
a high quality,
good quality velvet. Yeah.
And it just kicked off all the light from any of the gels from any of the camera, from any of the lighting setup. So when the scene's blue, it's just blue. That stuff is so refractive of light. It's brilliant. No, that's kind of why it looks really cool.
I love velvet.
Really, realistically speaking, you need to look at any costume in daylight because that's probably your most neutral color tone. Daylight. Any light is going to kick off something like that, regardless.
That being
Yeah.
said, the blue that they put into Robocop's suit in the second movie
I love
is
that.
so beautifully done. That iridescence just works in every lighting condition. I don't know how they do it. Maybe it's just a happy accident, but yeah.
Yeah, no, there is some blue highlighting. There's some blues and there's some purples. There's some greys in this suit as well. Adam Savage has just done a really good painting of his Iron Man Mark 1 armor. And he even does that, like he'll just, spray some light mists of blues and stuff like that just to...
Give it some dimensionality.
Yes, exactly that, right. And yeah, this is one of those costumes where you just think, oh, it's just silver, but then, like, no, it really isn't. It's got so much tonality in that, and god damn it, I love this costume.
Oh, it actually looks like the woman at the register. I think she's actually counting out the cash. I don't know if they're closing down or something.
Yeah, that's it. Like, she literally just shoves it all into the drawer as soon as the guy walks in, because she's just like, uh-oh.
Here comes trouble.
In the script, they refer to as just Mom and Pop, which is, just makes a lot of sense. In the novelization, they refer to as Tony and Elvira. Not the Elvira I picture in my head.
No, that's one of those names. It is a real name, but it's so associated with one particular individual you could never...
I like to offer a retraction. It's not called Anal Lesbians, it's called Anal Lesbians in Heat. I apologize for that.
Clearly, very important. Also, at the register is the sign says "Show Girl Boy Ballpoint Pens." So it's either a girl or a boy nude sort of semi-nude illustration. I'm assuming it's one of those pens that you turn upside down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, God, one of the things that made me think this is so fucking 80s is just how it's cigarettes like on the counter, just easily to be pulled off, it's just like easy access to smoke, even though there's very very few smoking in this film. But yeah, it's such an 80s thing, especially nowadays, like the quit movement and stuff like that. You forget kind of what it was like, and
I know it's crazy when you watch all the movies and they're smoking on a plane. It's like, wow. You hate everyone else around you, don't you?
Yeah, we've already talked about smoking on a plane just recently, but so we won't go back into that.
Yeah, no.
I hate to say it, but we've gone on long enough. I think we've got to move on.
Gaslighting Robocop.
Alex, how do you feel?
I feel fine, Dr. Norton.
This bit begins with Robocop posed in front of an Ed 209 and ends with Norton saying, "You can't run from this."
Yeah, my only comment is naturally run, Robo, run. When
he runs, it does look quite robotic. I will give them points for that. It is very much a robot-y run. I don't know if it's just all digital. I would love to see a making of this movie, because it is hard to know where the seams are with animation versus the physical costume.
Too bad they never release this on home media, so we'll never find out.
Yeah, no idea. Anyway.
This is such a nothing minute, I hate to say. It doesn't... Well, okay. It just pays off, like, this isn't Kansas anymore, Toto. It's clearly in the Asia somewhere.
I would love to know if... So he has his HUD, his heads-up display, which plans a trajectory over the wall, and I'm wondering, does he instinctively know how to read that? How does that work?
But we really hardly get any kind of sense of what his HUD is, and unlike the first one, where you spend a good chunk of it with Murphy as he's learning it. We literally have his perspective.
I wonder if it's kind of like Upgrade, the Lee Winnell movie, which everyone should watch. And I know you haven't watched it. You keep saying it, but fucking watch it, coward. Yeah.
I watched the movie the other day. It was called Hot Shots.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. But actually, you know what? Upgrade is basically
just watch
Venom and Robocop. It's those movies done better. Yeah, just those two things, but also better. And yeah, so in that instance, he has this AI in his brain that he can converse with, and it's able to do all those complex calculations and stuff and just give him those answers. So I'm wondering if that's the same situation here with this Robocop.
Well... Oh shit! Of all the movies that makes me immediately think of Bloodshot, part of the
a movie I forgot I even watched.
I can't say anything, but the part of the gaff in that one is like, Vin Diesel, because I can never remember his fucking name in that category. They never call him Bloodshot, because that's always a good thing when you want to set up a movie universe.
Yeah, I mean, they keep calling him by his initials, BS, so...
His name is Garrett, but fuck it, he's Vin Diesel. He's just playing Vin Diesel.
He's Vin Diesel in every movie.
Pretty much. The thing is like, oh, he's accessing the internet and subconsciously, and he's downloading all these GPS recorders, and it's all this... And it's performative for the narrative, because we find out later that most of the shit he knows is being fed to him by Guy Pearce's character, and so it's this really performative movie that's only for the audience. So I don't know why they're doing it, because technically they're out of contact with Vin Diesel at the time. It's a dumb movie. I like it, but it's a fucking dumb film. But that would make sense as a package in the AI for Robocop, in the sense of like a subconscious fucking GPS. Like, I need to get to here. How do I do that? And the AI within that just goes there.
Yeah, it's like having Kit, but in your head.
Yeah.
So they decide, all right, he's had enough of a run. He's not getting it out of his system because, he's a robot, so he won't get tired. He'll just keep running. So let's switch him off while he's still in range. And they very easily could have made their $1 billion cyborg man project drown in 2 inches of water. Because he's in the rice paddy field. And he falls, and for a second, I'm immediately, I don't know, like, I'm not even a mum, but like mum brain, mum instinct is like, oh no, is he gonna drown? Nah, he landed face up, so.
Here's the thing. I'm there going, my brain was, because I've forgotten, I don't know how I managed to guess, but I'm there going, he's a robot man, why is he breathing heavily? Oh yeah, that's right. They gave him lungs. They kept his organ, fleshy, useless lungs.
And we will get into that in the next minute. But yeah,
So yes, he can drown!
So that comes up in my Alien Prequels podcast as well, because the androids or synthetics, because they're played by human actors, they need to breathe, and also to convey emotion, you need to breathe in a certain way. So, yeah, it's a very difficult thing because, yes, realistically, well, I mean, the original Robocop never has Robocop panting or anything, but...
Yeah, well, you can't run.
Yeah, well, to convey that someone is distressed, I guess you need them to... Oh, God, what's happening? But,
It's so glad that these electronics always shut down when somebody's overly emotional.
I think this is another... We get a nice shot again in this minute. It's the bird's eye view. You got Robocop lying up, face up, in the rice paddy field, and he's surrounded by these confused farmers, I guess. And there is something nice about that juxtaposition where he's this futuristic robot man, and he's currently lying vulnerable in the most traditional, natural environment he could find himself in. Very strange to see Robocop in that situation.
The most natural green screen we've seen.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And again, I feel like it's not really saying anything. Could do. This is closer to saying something. In the previous minute, we were talking about the endless room of pink suited employees. That's not saying anything. This, at least, I kind of feel like... Well, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but just that contrast of you're so far removed from nature, the nature you evolved from.
Yeah, definitely good verbal language to say. Robocop finds himself... I called him Roboflag in one of the latest minute summaries.
Yeah, why not?
So Roboflag finds himself in a situation where, there's no rice paddocks in America that we know of, so don't correct us in the comments. But it's one of those things where it's a visual shorthand to say, like, Robocop is, busting out, he's expecting Americana, urban, whatever, maybe even if he's busting out into a field somewhere, corn, fucking Smallville kind of cornfields or something like that.
Yeah, no, oops, China all along.
Yeah, that's, I think, it's a very good shorthand without going, by the way, Alex, we're in China. You can't run anywhere. You don't know where you are. Yeah, it's a good visual shorthand.
Oh, I guess when they did bring him back to America, they had their own private plane. But could you imagine him running away? And he just keeps running, and then he gets to an airport, and it's like he can't even get through security because obviously he sets everything off. Yeah.
Can you please take your change out of your pockets? It's like that scene in the Wolverine where he's at the airport at the end and the plane tings as he's trying to get through. And he meets up with
Mystique?
No, it's Xavier and Magneto.
Wait,
Leads into
which movie?
Days of Future Past. In the Wolverine.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I was thinking of Days of Future Past, I think it is.
Yeah.
This is too many X-Men movies. I don't even know anymore.
They're all no longer canon.
It never happened.
It never happened.
It was all a dream. I would love that if the next X-Men movie, which is in the MCU, it's like Wolverine waking up and he's just like, oh man, what a weird dream.
Well, do you know what the next X-Men movie that's going to be in the MCU will actually be? Deadpool 3.
Huh?
So
Wild.
Yeah, they've already confirmed that it's going to be...
Okay, so then Deadpool can wake up and be like, what a weird
Yes.
dream, and it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm really hoping they just completely... Because, Deadpool's... Well, in that movie, he's already making references to the MCU.
Yeah, the entire movie, every time he encounters an X-Man, he's like, wait, weren't you... No, you look different. Oh, you look different.
He calls Cable Thanos.
Yeah. He knows.
So yeah, I'm totally on board with just them just breaking the canon wide open and having so much fun just listening to the shards as it's squashed underneath their feet.
Now, question: as a former trans man, should I call myself a transformer or an X-Man?
Maybe the New Mutant.
I'm a New Mutant. Actually, no, thank you. Very good. I'll take it.
There was an X-Man who was a alternate timeline son of Jean and Scott.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
Yeah, that was a cool series.
Feel like it's a good place to wrap up. That's all my notes.
Yeah, I'm well and truly spent talking about this particular movie. There wasn't that much to say, so I'm glad we...
Yeah, we still talked for an hour, but...
Yeah, we got all the good stuff out of the way with the good film. So, would you like to tell the lovely viewers where to find you?
You can find me on traviandesigns.com, Travan, patreon.com/traviandesigns. But if you can't afford to support me but still want to send me some money, then you can do that technically for free by watching my YouTube channel, Courtney Colson. And through ad revenue, I'll just you'll be helping me in that way, so that everyone wins.
You've got enough supporters to get ad revenue?
I got 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of views within 3 months. It was insane.
Yeah, well, I'm still at 42 subscribers on my YouTube.
You gotta get on the trendy topics. Detransitioning, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I literally have zero life experience on that.
I know, yeah, you'd have to do a lot of research.
It would take me a long time because first I'd have to transition.
Then you gotta detransition. Yeah,
Which that's not going to suit me because I'm not trans. So
I know.
Yeah, I'm a boring old cis person. And
yeah, well, your other choice, especially as a white man, is to just
become a hot chick?
like. No, like a Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones.
No, I think
Sam Harris.
No, I think given my particular knowledge base, I'd have to be the fucking quartering. And have to piss in my basement. Anyway, you can find me on Fandom Crossing. What a fucking segue.
What the hell?
Fandom Crossing on the YouTubes. I do Kung Pao into the minute, but more important than that, find us and many more podcast goodness on Spotify, Simplecast, Apple, Google, other shit. Go like, rate, review, rave on, subscribe, click, click, unclick, whatever. Do the clickety clacks, all the other stuff, because apparently the algorithm loves Courtney and hates me, so...
Yep.
Well, that's what you get for being a fucking robot, I guess. You know, the fucking algorithm just goes, hey, respect.
Oh, yeah, like, just like, oh, hey, homies, I'm just gonna just put these videos up. You know what to do.
So, until next time?
It's time for Robocock.